I'm convinced that most of us women have similar experiences. So let me know in the comment section if you've ever experienced a moment where you are just looking at yourself in the mirror. Nothing is wrong. You love how you look and everything, but there's just something that you feel is missing. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You're showing up for yourself, prioritizing your health, but that softness and that steadiness that you're used to seeing just feels extremely distant. And I've mentioned this so many times where feeling like ourselves, looking polished, it really doesn't come from us putting on a full glam of makeup, although, I love me a good beat. And it isn't about having just the nicest wardrobe and putting on the nicest fit. It's all about those tiny, small little habits that we choose on a daily basis that really shift how we feel in our own body. Because once you experience and feel that shift, your presence actually changes. And that's actually what makes you look effortlessly put together. I've had so many moments this year where everything about me just felt so reactive. My tone, how I speak, me feeling overwhelmed, me feeling overstimulated, rushing through my days. And then I'm sitting there wondering why getting dressed in the morning doesn't make me feel like myself. When I was studying and looking at women who I admire, who are just elegant and polished all of the time, there was one thing that I realized about these women. They pay attention to the very small habits that make them feel like themselves and also make them feel steady on the inside. And that's the biggest thing that I want to share with you today. It's not about aesthetics. It's not about, looking and feeling and all these other, it's really not about that, okay? But what I'm going to share with you today are going to be the deeper why behind the habits that make you feel like her again. The first thing I want you to know is that your beauty anchor is not about looks, but it's about the way you regulate, okay? One thing I realized is that us women, we need a tiny touch that is gonna make us feel like ourselves. And the biggest thing in this season for me has been lip gloss. Shockingly enough, lip gloss. Now, it's not because of how the lip gloss looks, but it's more about the intention behind me putting on the lip gloss. I noticed that if I slow down long enough to take care of myself and to put on something that makes me feel and look more feminine and something that does soften up my face, it means that I gave myself a moment of care before everything else and everyone else is asking something of me. Simple outfits are not boring. They are supportive. And I laugh about this one because I have a friend, she might actually watch this video, but I have a friend who jokingly laughs about how much neutral stuff I do have in my closet. And I had to kind of take the time to think about, why do I have so much neutrals in my closet? Like, why don't I have that much colors, And I thought about it. And the biggest reason why I feel like I do that is because it is simple. When I'm overwhelmed, simplicity supports me. It just helps to take the mental noise out of getting dressed. Like, I do not like looking in my closet and being stuck and trying to figure out what it is that I'm gonna wear. How am I gonna put these outfits together? So I realized that these colors, the beige, the creams, the blacks, the browns, all of those colors, as much as yes, they look beautiful on my skin tone, the biggest thing that I realized was that those tones really do calm me down. But the point about this one is to reduce the amount of decisions. Can't talk. The point about this one is to reduce the amount of decisions that you have to make. Because when you are stressed out about what outfit you're going to wear, that's already giving your body a tense feeling. You cannot be soft when you're tense. The next thing is that your presence is truly the biggest polish. Okay, that sounds so weird, but when you think about women that inspire you, that just are polished and put together, it's really not always the outfit that you remember. It's about the way that they carried themselves, right? It was the way that they stood, the calmness in their voice, their energy being maybe electric. It's about their posture. A polished presence starts with a decrease in what overstimulates you. Because when you are overstimulated, everything about you, your posture, how you clench your jaw, your shoulders, you're not going to be relaxed. I notice that when I feel calm inside, I feel a lot lighter. And when you feel lighter, you naturally just look more composed. Being polished truly does start in your nervous system before it reflects in what you see in the mirror. Your signature is how people are going to recognize you. It's how you recognize yourself. One thing that I've noticed about women that are very polished and very put together, they don't try to be like everyone else. They honor their signature. It is something that feels true to them that they stick to and return back to all of the time. And so I had to kind of think to myself when I was like, I want to stay that polished, put together woman. And I had to think like, okay, what is my signature? What do I want that signature to look like? And what is something that people often tell me? And so I had to think about it. And the 3 things that I came up with was my scent, making spaces feel like a safe spot, like a haven, and also the way that I communicate. And that is one of the biggest compliments that I actually received this past week was the way that I communicate, because it is something that I've been working on a lot on myself, is to really learn how to communicate, slow down in the way that I speak, and to really think about the things that come out of my mouth and actually let it be things that are aligned to what I feel on the inside. Those 3 things feel like home to me. So even if I'm wearing the simplest of outfit, if I'm smelling nice and I'm creating a space that just feels warm and I'm being intentional with the way that I speak, I feel more of like myself. I feel extremely put together. I feel connected to who I am as a person. So your signature doesn't need to be loud and that. It just needs to be consistent, okay? Consistency is that thing that will build confidence. It helps you to build self-trust. And when you have those 2 things, it really helps you to start recognizing yourself again. Your space teaches your body how to feel. I used to really underestimate how my space can really impact me. But the one thing that I've noticed is that when I walk into my room during the day, if my bed is made, I feel so good. I feel cleaner, I feel steadier. I feel, I don't know, it's a feeling that I get that just makes me feel so grounded when I walk in my room and the bed is made. Your space sends signals to your body all day long. So if your space is cluttered internally, you are going to feel cluttered. You're going to feel overwhelmed and overstimulated. Having that small pocket of order really does just help your brain to exhale. So today, I just want you to pick one space. That could be your bag, that could be your car, it could be your room, it could be your counter, it could even be your nightstand. When your space is cared for, you start to feel cared for. And that feeling of being cared for creates a sense of safetyness. And what do we know about safetyness? Feeling safe really does help soften us up. That's exactly what we want. We want to feel safe, we want to feel soft, because when we are feeling safe and soft, we can show up a little bit more polished. My body speaks differently when I'm feeling more confident versus when I'm feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and overstimulated. When I feel more confident, I'm able to make direct eye contact. I speak a little bit slower. My shoulders are more relaxed. I notice that my breathing is more from my diaphragm than from my chest. Also, I've noticed that I'm more intentional with my environment and the things that are around me. But when I'm overwhelmed, overstimulated, I'm stressed, I'm overworked, I show up in a way that looks rushed. I show up in a way that I look tensed and very like I shrink myself. And I don't like that feeling. This isn't about you trying to perform. This is just you being aware of yourself, okay? So that's one thing I noticed. Polished women, most of them are really not putting on a performance. They are just very, very self-aware of themselves. So you could start by lifting your head up a little bit, softening your jaw. I notice a lot of times if I'm tense, I clench my jaw a lot, and I have to remind myself to soften my jaw. And another biggest way is just to slow down the way that you speak. Really be intentional with the way that you talk and how you communicate. Now, the last thing is our movements. I feel like the quickest way to lose your sense of confidence is by moving too quick. Rushing kind of puts your body in this space of urgency, and you start reacting to things instead of responding. And so I notice that when I slow down, even if it's just like a 10% slowing down in the morning or when I have to do an errand, my whole energy shifts. So when I'm walking through Kroger and I'm like trying to do all my errands and stuff, trying to make it back before whatever time, I notice that like my posture shrinks. Everything about me just doesn't feel in control. But when I'm walking through Kroger or walking through the grocery store and I'm slowing down my movement, I'm intentional, my head is lifted up. Women naturally, they'll say hi to me, they'll smile at me, they'll compliment me. And it is something that really does make me feel so good on the inside. So slow down your movement so that you can be able to feel more grounded, more in control, and more present with yourself. It's not like moving slow, like dramatic, like, selling sunset and, their slow-mo walks, the reality shows. It's literally just walking slower and not like rushing and powering through things. It gives your nervous system that permission to stop living life in survival mode. So once again, you don't need a full transformation to feel polished again, and you really don't need all sorts of clothing and all this other stuff to feel like you or have this big routine. You just need to pay attention to those small little things that will help shape the way that you feel about yourself. So I really hope that this video was helpful to you, and I really hope that it was something that inspired you. If it did and you enjoy conversations like this, then this is most definitely the space for you to be. So I really would hope that you would subscribe and join the family over here, because we talk about all things womanhood, motherhood, beauty, lifestyle, glowing up again, and feeling like ourselves. And don't forget to comment. Don't be shy. Leave a comment. Let us know something that you do in order to make yourself feel effortlessly put together and polished without spending any kind of money. We're talking about the inner work, okay? But don't forget to like this video as well. I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Until then, remember that you are loved, beautiful, treasured, and you're valued. Adios. Mwah.